This next lesson comes from my university classroom. In all of my time as a professor, I've never found a thing like this that just cuts so quickly and so clearly to the heart of who a person is. I've learned about heartbreak, I've learned about doubt, I've learned about faith, I've learned about fear, I've learned about sorrow and joy and things that my students are proud of. I've gotten to know my students better through this assignment than I have just through talking to them even. It's incredibly powerful, and just reading through some of the assignments that they put out when they were doing this has just been enough to break my heart at times. It's incredibly powerful, and what results from this project, this assignment, this lesson, is honest. It's vulnerable, it's true, and it's real. Now, of course, doing this and just putting out a lot of information that's honest, true, and real, as you'll learn about in a second, isn't enough to make it a song, but it is enough to be powerful, and it's something that we can pull a song from. This strategy is called free writing, and basically the idea here is that you will write as quickly as you can and as honestly as you can for a certain amount of time, and then at the end of it, you will have thought through some issues maybe. So typically students will start with a question that they ask themselves, or something, some idea or issue or concern that they've been thinking about a lot recently. And instead of thinking about it in your head where you can't write your thoughts down, and sometimes if you're like me, you forget what you thought like 1 minute ago and you just kind of follow this river wherever your mind takes you, free writing helps you to anchor yourself. And it also makes you think slower, so your thoughts are stronger because you have more time to think each individual one, and you can come to some conclusions and some realizations and some understanding about yourself. It's very, very similar to journaling. The only big difference between free writing and journaling is that with free writing, you're still trying to write as fast as you can without fixing any mistakes. So this is basically how it works. You're going to think of a topic or something that you've been concerned about recently. The more emotionally invested you are in that topic, the better. It could be something you're happy about, something you're sad about, something maybe generally that you want to write a song about. It's gonna probably be pretty broad at first, but as you free write, it will tend to get more narrow and narrow. That means that you need to be pushing yourself to be more specific and just go for it. One of the big ideas behind free writing is that you don't edit yourself. So whatever comes to your mind, you say that thing, and you say it as fast as you can and you move on. If you make a spelling error or if you make a grammar mistake or something like that, don't go back and fix it. Even if you make word level mistakes, you don't have to fix those either. The idea is just to write as fast as you can and to get as much out of you in the time limit that you've given yourself. Typically, people are gonna give themselves 5 to 30 minutes. I will say that doing that for a full 30 minutes would be pretty exhausting, whereas 5 minutes might not be enough to get all of the issues out, but you'll be surprised how much you have to say in just 5 minutes. But it's not enough to just write fast and to not edit yourself. You have to be honest, and you have to give yourself permission to share. I know that we all have thoughts that we don't share with anybody else. We all have those secrets, those things that we keep closely guarded. When you free write, you can tell yourself, hey, I'm gonna delete this as soon as I'm done free writing. But you have to be willing to write even that stuff down. You have to be honest with yourself, because if you can't be honest with yourself, who can you be honest with? And that's where truly vulnerable, original, powerful lyrics come from. That ability to be honest with yourself first, and then to be honest with others. That you don't have to share your darkest secrets with everybody else, but you should at least be able to share, your darkest secrets with yourself, so that you can share maybe mid-level secrets with everybody else. Once you finish free writing, go ahead and take a look at what you've created. Read through it, see some of the ideas and the thoughts or some of the patterns that start to appear, and chances are you'll find something that you can use as a beginning point or a starting point for writing a song. Some issue or some concern that you're worried about, something that really makes you think and something you'd really like to try to resolve. Or as is often the case with free writing, maybe you resolve it while free writing. There have been times when I've been afraid of some upcoming future event or some concern, and I have gone and free written about it, and by the end of the free writing session, I feel a sense of peace, and I feel like, oh, I understand the situation now, there's not so much to be afraid of. And that can sometimes be a really good starting point for a song. The powerful thing about free writing is that you're gonna get to know yourself better, and you might even change over the course of free writing. You might come to a new understanding of yourself, or you might come to a new understanding of your environment or your problems or your surroundings. It's a really good way to get in touch with your true self, but I have to warn you, free writing should be treated with respect. If you go in and you're listening to music or watching Netflix while you're free writing, or you've got a lot of distractions around you, there's just not gonna be that power. What you really need to do is seclude yourself, set a timer that you don't look at, and just start writing. I find that typically I feel a little bit uncomfortable for the first 5 minutes. After I get through the first 5 minutes though, thoughts and feelings are just coming like just a rushing river. And the purpose of this exercise is to organize your internal thoughts, to kind of take an assessment of them all, know which ones are there, so that when you start writing your song, you're not doing your free writing in your song itself. That way, when you're writing a song, you've already kind of understood the situation, you've understood it and your own perspective on it from a bird's eye view, and now you can translate that into a song that will make more logical sense to other people. And the prompt for this lesson is, yes, you guessed it, you need to go and free write. Choose either 5, 10, or 15 minutes. Save 30 minutes for when you're a little bit more comfortable and a little more practiced free writing. And after you've finished doing those 5, 10, or 15 minutes of free writing, then go ahead and pick out 3 ideas for songs that you think you might have come across in your free writing. If you do get stuck, just ask yourself a question, particularly a hard question that challenges you. When I was free writing the other day, I got stuck at 2 points, and I asked myself first the question, why do I feel sad right now? And then when I got stuck again, I asked myself, do I have emotional walls? And those were 2 things that I had kind of been feeling challenged about in the moment. And so I said, all right, let's tackle whatever sounds the hardest. And that seemed kind of difficult. So we went for it, and I was really pleased as a result. All right, that's the end of this lesson. Go ahead and move on to the next one after you finish the prompt.